After studying this module, you shall be able to understand how psychological tests are used in the educational setting, understand the use and interpretation of tests each for preschool, achievement and aptitude, identify the important psychological tests used for assessment in the field of education. Introduction. Assessment has been an integral part of the education system, and psychological tests play a vital role for these assessments. The use of psychological tests in the educational setting has been on a rise as the emphasis on the teaching-learning process has increased. The scientific understanding of behavior and mental processes can be operationalized for effective education by the use of appropriate psychological tests. Schools have been administering many tests such as intelligence tests, tests of achievement and aptitude, personality tests, tests of physical and sensory abilities, and many more. In this module, we shed light upon tests that will facilitate the process of education. Tests for preschool assessment, achievement tests, and tests of aptitude have been included in this module.
Preschool assessment. The preschool period for a child refers to the first 5 years of his life that mark a significant change in the growth and development of the child. The developmental milestones for a child range from basic reflexes to grasping, crawling, sitting, standing, walking, running, and so on. By the age of 18 to 24 months, the child develops language skills and is capable of symbolic thought. By the age of 2 years, a child's vocabulary consists of more than 200 words. Infant intelligence scales are used in the early years of a child to assess intelligence that can be gauged by the presence of various developmental milestones. By the age of 2 years, the child's language and conceptual skills begin to develop. Attention span is short, and as the testing time increases, so does fatigue and distraction. Moreover, the motivation of a child may vary from session to session and hence prove a challenge for a psychological assessor. Thereby, examiners working with the preschoolers prefer to use tests that are easy to administer, have a simple start-stop rules, and allow the examiner to make behavioral observations of the examinee. The scores from the infant intelligence test, when combined with the birth history, family history, emotional and social history, as well as measure of adaptive behavior, give a complete picture to health professionals to not only define the abilities of a child but also the deficits when suspicious about developmental delays. The tests used with the preschoolers are also referred to as screening tests. Most of the screening tests used with preschoolers are designed to identify children who may be at risk. Martin defines at risk to describe a child who is in danger of not being ready for first grade. Piaget defines it to describe a level of functioning that is not within normal limits. Preschoolers may perform poorly on sensory motor functioning, cognitive skills, social and behavioral skills, and their performance on any one or all areas may be significant. The child may be at risk with a developmental lag that will require appropriate intervention. Preschool test. Some tests used for preschool assessment are the Battle Developmental Inventory by Newborg, Stock, Neck, Guidobaldi and Swinky in the year 1980. Its purpose is to determine the problem and monitor the progress of special needs kid. Its applicability is from birth through 8 years of age. Its administration time is 60 to 90 minutes. The domains that it covers are cognitive, communication, and motor. Reliability of the inventory is 0.70 to 1 and validity ranges from 0.64 to 0.94. Bailey scales for infant development developed by Nancy Bailey in the year 1969. Its purpose is to determine the current level of functioning. Applicability is from 1 to 42 months of age. Administration time is 25 to 60 minutes. It covers the domains of cognitive scale, motor scale, and behavioral rating scale. The reliability of the test is 0.64 to 0.93 and the validity is 0.75 to 0.89. Early Screening Profile by Harrison, Smith, Lassay, and McCloskey in the year 1990. The purpose is to assess the developmental functioning. Applicability is from 2 to 6 years of age. Administration time ranges from 15 to 30 minutes. It covers the domains of cognitive, language, motor, self-help, and social. It has a reliability of 0.70 to 0.90 and validity of 0.58. Developmental Indicators for the Assessment of Learning Revised Version by Mardell, Zhudo-Novitsky and Golderberg, Cooper and Shepard in the year 1992. Its purpose is to assess the early development of the child. Applicability is from 2 to 5 years of age. Administration time ranges from 0 to 30 minutes. Domains that it covers are concepts, language, and motor development. Reliability ranges from 0.70 to 0.90 and validity ranges from 0.21 to 0.55. Infant Mullen Scale of Early Learning by Mullen and Hart in the year 1992. Its purpose is to assess the cognitive and learning skills. Applicability is from 0 to 3 years of age. Administration time ranges from 10 to 45 minutes. The domains that it covers are receptive language, expressive language, gross motor base, receptive visual, expressive visual. Reliability is 0.70 to 0.97 and validity ranges from 0.78 to 0.98. Miller Assessment for Preschoolers by Miller and Deloria of 1985 and Shooten and Kirkpatrick in the year 1993. The purpose is to detect developmental problems. Applicability is from 2.5 to 5.5 years of age. Administration time is 20 to 30 minutes. Domains that it covers are complex task, verbal, and non-verbal foundations. Reliability ranges from 0.79 to 0.98 and validity is from 0.17 to 0.38. Achievement Test. Achievement tests are designed to measure accomplishments, that is, measure the degree of learning as a result of exposure to a relatively defined learning experience. The achievement tests vary as per the age group. Example, for a first grader, the achievement test may have as its subject matter the English language alphabet, but for a psychology graduate, an achievement test may comprise of questions pertaining to principles of psychological assessment. Achievement test may or may not be standardized, be it a pop-up quiz in class or a common entrance exam for engineering. An achievement test is one that adequately samples the targeted subject matter and reliably gauges the extent to which all the examinees learned it. Measures of general achievement. Measures of general achievement may review learning in one or more academic areas. When a test is divided into several subtests covering various academic areas, They are referred to as achievement batteries. Though the Peabody Individual Achievement Test is administered individually, the Metropolitan Achievement Test can be administered in a group. Achievement batteries consist of sub-tests as the Wide Range Achievement Test, revised by Jastuk and Jastuk in 1984, with its measure of reading, spelling, and arithmetic or can be comprehensive, as well as the STEP series that includes sub-tests in reading, vocabulary, mathematics, writing skills, study skills, science, and social science, a behavior inventory, an educational environment questionnaire, and an activities inventory. Batteries are also designed to provide with norm-referenced and criterion-referenced analysis. Before the actual test on a battery is administered, a pre-test, also known as the locator or router, may be administered to determine the most appropriate test to be administered. The test that is most appropriate for use is the one that is consistent with the educational objectives of the individual teacher or school system. Some tests of general achievement are Wechsler Individual Achievement Test, second edition by Wechsler in the year 2005. The purpose is to assess the academic achievement of children, adolescents, college students, and adults. Applicability is from 4 to 85 years of age. Administration time is 30 to 80 minutes. The domains that it covers are reading, in which it assesses pre-reading, decoding skills, reading comprehension, pseudo-word decoding. Writing, under writing, it assesses spelling and written expression. Mathematical skills, under which it assesses numerical operations and mathematical reasoning. It also assesses oral language, in which it covers listening comprehension and oral expression. The reliability of Wechsler Individual Achievement Test is 0.80 to 0.98 and validity ranges from 0.25 to 0.82. Peabody Individual Achievement Test by Joseph L. French. The purpose is to assess the academic achievement of children in school. Applicability is from kindergarten to grade 12. It assesses mathematics, reading, spelling, and general information of the achievement. Reliability is 0.82 to 0.92 and validity is 0.53. Measures of achievement in specific subject areas. Though there are a number of standardized instruments designed to gauge achievement in specific areas, most of the measures of achievement in specific subject areas are teacher-made, that is, created by the teachers to give a quiz, a test, or a term-end examination in a course. If at the elementary level a teacher wants to assess the acquisition of reading skills, they may administer a test that includes words, sentences, paragraphs to be read silently or allowed to measure accuracy and speed. Depending on the variable to be assessed, some tests may require the recall of words from a passage, where others may require the interpretation of the passage. At the secondary level, the achievement test may be diversified as per the specific subject areas such as English, mathematics, literature, social sciences, science, and foreign language, as in the cooperative achievement test battery. At the college level, undergraduate psychology students would be required to attempt the term-end examination that will encompass a range of subject matter in the psychology major. Achievement tests used on a national level may assess the information or concepts that are not taught within a specific school's curriculum. Children who are exposed to such information or concepts independent of the school curriculum are likely to perform better on such items than those who have not been exposed to any other information or concept. Hence, the performance on a school achievement test does not directly depend on school achievement. This has given rise to assessments that only reflect what is being taught at school in the form of curriculum-based assessment. According to Shapiro and Eckert in the year 1993, though curriculum-based assessment CBA is favored at the school level for assessment, it may not be used consistently. Some of the standardized tests of achievement in specific subject areas are Stanford Achievement Test, High English and Spelling Test by Eric F. Gardner, Jack C. Merwin, Robert Callis, and Richard Maiden. The purpose is to measure mechanics, style, and paragraph organization. Applicability is from 15 to 18 years of age. Domains that it covers are mechanics, style, paragraph organization, and spellings. Reliability ranges from 0.87 to 0.94. Arithmetic Concept Individual Test by Gerald Melnick, S. Freeland, and Barry Lehrer. The purpose is to understand the process by which students attack quantitative relations and why particular children do not progress in their arithmetic skill. Applicability is from primary and intermediate level educable mentally retarded children. Domains are tasks related to seriation, classification, class inclusion, differentiation of length and number concepts, one-to-one correspondence, conservation of number and spatial relations. Reliability is 0.84 between seriation and conservation of number, and validity is quite high. Test of aptitude. Though the achievement test measure learned knowledge, the aptitude test measure innate potential and focus on informal learning or life experiences as their subject matter. Aptitude tests are used to make predictions and hence are also known as prognostic tests. Hence, they may be used to measure readiness for school, aptitude for graduate school, and aptitude for a particular profession such as law, medicine, administration, or performing arts. An achievement test may also be used as a test of prediction. If a student performs well on a foreign language, he may be asked to pursue the language based on his performance with the assumption that he has mastered the basic skills for further degree. Conversely, an aptitude test may also be used as an achievement test. While the achievement test focuses on formal learning experiences when making predictions with respect to a specific variable such as a foreign language, the aptitude test focuses on a broad range of information and abilities to predict a broader variable such as performance in the armed forces as a profession. Aptitude tests tap the learning experiences juxtaposed with inborn potential that is achieved under uncontrolled and undefined conditions. They make use of tasks that are not formally taught in school, like analogies and logical reasoning, designed to minimize any doubt that the task is specifically taught. Aptitude tests are used from the entry level at schools through graduation and professional institutions. At the entry level, an aptitude test is also referred to as readiness test as it assesses the readiness of a child for learning. As the grade of education goes up, the term readiness gets replaced by aptitude. The Scholastic Aptitude Test (SAT) and the Graduate Record Examination (GRE) predict the ability of a student to do college level work, and so it would be right to name these tests as college readiness test. More than an indicator of readiness, they act as a predictor of future academic success by providing a sample of academic performance on a standardized test that can be compared with the performance of other students. Some of the popular aptitude tests are Metropolitan Readiness Test, 6th edition, MRT6 by Nurse and McGowan, 1995. The purpose of this test is to assess beginning reading, story comprehension, and quantitative concepts in early school life. The test is conducted at two levels. Level 1 is individually administered before and during kindergarten, whereas Level 2 is group administered from mid-kindergarten through beginning first grade. Beginning reading comprises of three subtests, whereas story comprehension and quantitative concepts and reasoning are each assessed by one subtest, that are visual discrimination level 1. This is a beginning reading subtest that assesses skill in matching individual letters, letter sequences, and words. Beginning consonants level 1 and 2. This is a beginning reading subtest that assesses skill in discriminating initial phonemes. Sound letter correspondence levels 1 and 2. This is a beginning reading subtest that assesses skill in identifying letters that correspond to sounds. Oral close level 2. This is a beginning reading subtest that assesses skill in matching the initial sound of a picture that is contextually appropriate for a sentence read by the examiner. Story comprehension levels 1 and 2. This subtest assesses understanding of the vocabulary and concepts of a story to which subjects listen. Quantitative concepts and reasoning levels 1 and 2. This subtest assesses basic mathematical concepts such as number, numeral, and part-whole relationships and operations, for example, addition. Though the tests are untimed, they typically require 90 minutes to administer. Raw scores for visual discrimination, beginning consonants, and sound letter correspondence are summed to form the beginning reading composite. Story comprehension and beginning reading composite are summed to form the pre-reading composite score. The beginning reading composite and pre-reading composite scores can be summed to form a total test composite. Raw scores and composites can be converted to percentiles, stenines, and scaled scores. The Scholastic Aptitude Test (SAT). The Scholastic Aptitude Test was first developed in 1926 and has been regularly revised, meeting the demand and the need of the industry. The test measures the literacy and writing skills that are needed for academic success in college. The test assesses the level of analysis and problem solving of the test taker and hence is administered in a strict time limit. The school grades in combination with the SAT scores prove to be an indicator of the student's performance at the college level. SAT consists of three major domains vis-a-vis: critical reading, mathematics, and writing. Each domain is divided into three parts with 10 subsections, including an additional 25-minute experimental or equating section that may be in any of the three major domains. The experimental section does not count towards the final score. Each section receives a score out of 800. Total scores are calculated by adding up scores of the three sections, making the total as 2400. The test contains 3 hours and 45 minutes of actual timed sections, but the administration of the test takes 4.5 hours. The questions range from easy, medium, and hard depending on the scoring from the experimental sections. The test begins with easier questions followed by harder questions towards the end of each section except the critical reading section. Critical reading. The critical reading section of the SAT is made up of three scored sections, two 25-minute section and one 20-minute section, with varying types of questions including sentence completions and questions about short and long reading passages to test the student's vocabulary and comprehension. Mathematics. This domain is popularly known as the quantitative section or calculation section. The mathematics section consists of three scored sections. These are 25-minute sections of multiple choice questions and grid on the answer sheet, and one 20-minute section of multiple choice questions. These questions are based on only symbolic and numerical answers and not comparison. Writing. The writing domain includes multiple choice questions and a brief essay. The multiple choice questions include error identification questions, sentence improvement questions, and paragraph improvement questions. Error identification and sentence improvement questions test the student's knowledge of grammar and the student's understanding of logical organization of ideas. The essay section, which is always administered as the first section of the test, is 25 minutes long. All essays must be in response to a given prompt. The prompts are broad and often philosophical and are designed regardless of their educational and social backgrounds. Two trained readers assign each essay a score between 1 and 6, where a score of 0 is reserved for essays that are blank, off topic, non-English, not written with a number 2 pencil, or considered illegible after several attempts at reading. The scores are summed to produce a final score from 2 to 12 or 0. If the two readers' scores differ by more than 1 point, then a senior third reader decides. Medical College Admission Test MCAT. The MCAT is a multiple choice test that is taken after graduation when pursuing further education in the medical profession. It is divided into four timed sections: the verbal ability, quantitative ability, general information, and science. The verbal ability section consists of 75 items, including analogies, antonyms, and synonyms, and is to be completed in 20 minutes. The quantitative ability section assesses the student's knowledge and application of algebraic, geometric, and arithmetic principles and comprises of 50 items to be completed in 45 minutes. General information section includes 75 items to be administered in 25 minutes and includes items pertaining to wide array of subject areas such as sports and music. The last section is the science section with 86 items to be completed in 60 minutes, focusing majorly on biology, chemistry, and physics. The scores on this test do not predict the class rank in medical school of a student. Let us summarize what we have learned.
Psychological tests that are administered both in private and public schools are intelligence tests, personality tests, tests of physical and sensory abilities, achievement and aptitude tests, and many others. Even before a child enters a classroom, education-related tests may be administered in the preschool years of a child's life. The tools of preschool assessments are with age-appropriate variations and hence can be used to assess school-age children and adults. These may include checklists and rating scales, tests, and interviews. Achievement tests are designed to assess accomplishment of a child at the academic front. This test may be standardized if administered at the national, regional, or local level, or it may not be standardized if administered in the form of quiz or class test. An achievement test should adequately sample the targeted subject matter and gauges the extent to which the learners or examinees learnt it. Tests of general achievement may measure learning in one or more academic areas. When a test covers more than one subject area, they are referred to as achievement batteries. While the achievement batteries are majorly standardized, measures of achievement in specific subject areas are usually tailor-made by the subject teacher and subject specific.